This, I can't handle. I can't handle the light. If I just had a way to direct the light onto me, I wouldn't have this annoying glow in my face, but I do. I guess I have to, can I sit down? Would that work? Hi guys. I have tried 4 different ways to film this video with enough light, and this is the best way. I am like crouching on a chair. It is really uncomfortable. So we're gonna film this clip real quick. So welcome to March. As you can tell, I'm just like a leprechaun. We're gonna pick what we're gonna read in March, and I'm gonna use this hat because I needed something that's February themed, and last month I went all out. So we're gonna use this. So first we're gonna do, oh, my poor legs. First we're gonna do the dice. My wonderful, beautiful dice that always chooses correctly. I think we're gonna do this 4 times because I don't want to do super gigantic huge TBR this month because I will go insane. I also have 2 library books that I got from the library that we're going to read this month, so those will add on, and then I'm going to pick from this pile of strips, which I wanted to add to this because I know there's a lot of series that I'm in the middle of that I either don't have the books on here or I have the books like out there that I could finish because there's like the Fablehaven series that the Dragon Watch series has come out, but I want to reread Fablehaven before I read Dragon Watch. I added them all onto these strips, and so we'll see what I get. And I also put some books on here that like either I want to reread or I just want to read another book by this author or something like that. So I put those in here. So this is like books that I don't have on physically that I can read. And we'll pick, I guess, 2 of these also. So all in all, I'll have 8 books on my TBR, which feels a lot more approachable than the ridiculous monstrosity that I had last month, which was, I don't know, something ridiculous. And I am not sitting on this chair anymore. That hurt my legs so badly. You're just gonna deal with the terrible lighting. So I'm sorry, editing me. I hate this at lighting too. Okay, so right here is my beautiful TBR stack. I have rearranged my room like I do apparently every single month now. Right here are my Christmassy books, so we're just gonna put these somewhere else. But this one is a nonfiction book, which I'll put down like that. It just doesn't fit on the stack. It's like this awkward size. It's like too big to fit. It's like, oh, I guess it would fit like right there. Anyway, I'll count that one last when we go all the way down. So the rules for this little die game that I play is I roll the dice 2 times and multiply them together. If I get 2 6s, that means I get to pick a reread to do. And then, yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, so I forgot there's a problem that this hat can slingshot things apparently. Where did it go? Do you not want to be used? Oh, I see you. Why did you go all the way back there? Okay, we're back. I found it. So, because this hat's big enough, I'm probably just gonna roll it and then let it settle in the hat. So we have a 6 and a 4. Okay, so that's 24. This is the series, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, we have a very, very well chosen book. We have a green book in March for St. Patrick's Day. How wonderful. This one is The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon. And I'll talk more about these books at the end because I want to do it with better lighting because this lighting is abysmal. I can't get good lighting in this corner. I don't know why I decided to put my books in a corner where I know that there is no natural lighting. Okay, we're gonna do this 3 more times. 5 and 5. Okay, so that's 25, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 24, 25. Okay. Of Mice and Magic by David Farland. Now, I found this at DI and I picked it up because Dan Wheeler talked about it. No, Dan Wells talked about it. 2 more times. We got 6 and 3. That's 18, right? Yeah, 18. 17. 18. Okay. All right, so I have 2 of these books, but we're grabbing the first one. This one's called Homeroom: Strange Times at Fairwood High by Nancy Norton. I'm assuming this is like a Trixie Bell and Nancy Drew-esque mystery, but in like high school. I picked them because they look cute and also kind of nostalgic looking. Like the art style is very 80s, and I like books that look older. 1 more time. 6. It keeps teasing with all these 6s. And 4. 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 22, 23, 24. Okay, we've got The Thief's Daughter by Jeff Wheeler. I just finished the first book in the series literally yesterday and I've wanted to continue it, so I know what I'm picking up today. I'm so excited. Okay, yay. All right, so those are all the books that the dice chose for us. We're gonna talk about them in more detail a little bit later. But now we're gonna go to the second part of this, which is literally picking what books I want to read out of a hat. But first I have to fold up all these pieces of paper because I don't know why I thought this would be the fast part. Just folding them all up. It never is the fast part. I think the last time I did something like this was when I was deciding what books I wanted to watch with my friends before I left for college, because we had time to watch like 2 movies and we had like a bunch of movies we wanted to watch. And so we wrote them all down and we put them in a hat. And I think we ended up picking Wall-E, and it is a musical. I can't remember what it's called, but we picked 2 movies out of the hat and we watched them. And I don't know why this is making me remember that. Probably because it's the last time I did something similar to this. But now it's making me think of Wall-E. And in Wall-E, I always am like, oh yeah, I love Wall-E. And then I watch the first half of it, and then we get to the second half when they're on the ship, and I just get so bored. Like, I'm interested. I'm like, yeah, I'm invested. I want to see what happens with these cute little robots. But then I just get bored the second they're on the ship. And then the last fourth of the movie, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. So I like have to get through like I guess the third act of the movie. I guess the second act of the movie is the part where I'm bored. Did I just fold that one inside out? I don't know how to do this apparently. Okay. We finally have them all in here. Let's give it a little shaky, 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 shake. And we're gonna pull, what did I say, 2 out of the hat? Okay. All right, we've got, why am I so anxious? Georgette Heyer. Okay, I'll put the photos of the books I've read by her up on here. She is a, what is it called? Regency romance writer. And she is like, not quite like our generation of writers, but they kind of feel a certain way. And it's not Jane Austen. It's kind of in the middle. Like, I think it was written in the 1950s or something like that, her books. But she has like a lot of books out there. And I've read 2 of them. And I did enjoy both of them. And I wanted to read more by her. So that is a very fun edition. I'll go find one on Libby, whatever's available, and I'll probably read it, because listening to them is hard, because she has like, you have to pay attention because every word means something in her books, which is why I like them so much. All right, next one. I don't know why I'm anxious, because there's one series in here that I kind of don't want to get, but I put in because I had to put it in, because it is a book series I'm in the middle of. We've got Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. Okay. I wanted to do a reread. I'm actually really excited to read this. And I'm glad I didn't get Ella Montgomery, because I already know what books I want to read by her, and I want to read them next month or May, one of the 2. Now to grab the, what are they called? The library books that I have, and then I'll tell you about all of these. Okay, I'm going to start with the library books I have first, just for fun. Where did I put the other scrap of paper? Oh, I found it. So at the library, I found both The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston and Us in Ruins by Rachel Moore. Now, I've heard nothing about this book at all. I just basically was at the library and I passed the section and I saw this cover and I thought, that looks gorgeous. And then I picked it up and I read like the first 2 pages, and apparently it's apparently like Tomb Raider, kind of like archaeologist people, and then something about a time slip, which sounded interesting to me, and it's also YA, so it should be fun. We'll see. I don't really generally love time slip books, but the cover was just so pretty. I absolutely judged this book by its cover, and I want to read it, so. All right, and then we have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Now, this book is the favorite of all of the book girlies on the internet. Both Rachel Catherine, I think, has read this. Yeah, Rachel Catherine's read this book. She loved it. I think Destiny's read it. I don't remember whether Sarah Curley's read it, but I want to read it because anything Rachel Catherine reads will automatically be put on my want to read list, because I love Rachel Catherine. She's like the sweetest person on the planet. So I want to read this book. It's about a girl who basically goes back to her apartment one day. From what I've heard, there's a man there, and apparently her apartment sometimes slips 7 years into the past. That's all I know. I'm really interested to keep reading it though. And also Destiny Sidwell has recently posted a video where she talks about this book, and so I want to read this book and then hear her spoiler thoughts about it, because I'm really interested about it. Anyway, the cover is so pretty, and it's matching my hat, so it's meant to be. Okay, and now for the books that my dice chose. We have Homeroom, Strange Times at Fairwood High, and like the subtitle thing is Homeroom 434, Where Are You? By Nancy Norton. I've never heard a single thing about this book. I just found these 2 at DI, and they were in like this double thing for $1 or $2 or something. I'm like, yes, I want 2 books for $2. That sounds great. So I got both of them. The back of the book says, it's no ordinary homeroom. They're scared, but won't show it. Ready for love, maybe. Not who they seem to be. And stuck in an old classroom miles from the action. But before they're through, they'll be the action. So I'm guessing it's kind of like a murder romance, and obviously murder romance? Murder mystery, and a rom-com, and it's set in high school, and it's really short. I think it's like barely 100 pages. Yeah, it's like 168 is what I just saw, the number I just saw. This will be interesting. Probably I'll pick it up as like a palate cleanser between other books I read. Okay, now we have Of Mice and Magic by David Farland. This is the first book. I know it's a fantasy because, okay, I was listening to Intentionally Blank, which is the podcast that Dan Wells and Brandon Sanderson have, which they're both authors, and they talked about their favorite books and fantasy in particular. And Dan Wells said that he wanted more books that were basically animal fantasies or like something like that where it's not played for jokes, it's like serious. And so I recently read Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim, which kind of is that actually, where it's like a serious book about mice. And it's really interesting. And Dan Wells said he read this book and he wanted something that gave him this feeling ever since. And I know it's like a really, like a younger kid book. So it's like got big words, but I know it's a fantasy and I'm very interested. So here, I'll read this really quick. More than anything, Benjamin Ravenspell wants a pet. But when he buys a mouse named Amber, he gets more than he bargained for. No sooner does Ben take her home than Amber turns him into a mouse, too. You see, Amber has magical abilities, and it so happens that Ben is a familiar, a creature that stores magical energy. Together they each form half of a powerful wizard. Alone, they're just vermin. That is a great line. That's a fantastic line. Soon, Ben and Amber will find themselves pitted in an epic battle against a magical enemy who is as crazed as he is evil, and the fate of the world will depend on them learning to work together. That sounds really fun. Okay, I'm excited to read this book. It also kind of matches me. Now we have the Unselected Gerbils. Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon. This book was slid under my door one day. I still do not know to this day who did it. It could have been my mom, it could have been my grandmother, it could have been my brother. I have no idea. So we're gonna read it. I have seen this book in bookstores near me actually, so I guess it's more popular than I thought it was. I thought it was just like a random book that they found at the thrift store, but no. It looks like a brand new book actually, so I'm interested. I have no idea what this is about. I do know that it's like a Regency thing. So it's the year is 1883 and Emma M. Lyon has returned to her London neighborhood of St. Crispian's. But Emma's plans for a charmed and studious life are sabotaged by her eccentric cousin Archibald, her formidable aunt Eugenia, and the slightly odd denizens of St. Crispin's. Emma M. Lyon offers up her unslicked journals, however self-incriminating they may be, which comprise a series of novella-length volumes. Armed with wit and sideways amusement, Emma documents the curious realities of her life at Lapis Lazuli House. That sounds interesting. Oh, and it's like written like a journal. Oh, I love that. I love reading books that are like journals, actually. This will be so fun. Okay, I'm excited for that one. And this one also matches me. The die really knows everything. I'm starting to think that's a magical dice because it just chooses good. It really does. Now we have The Thief's Daughter by Jeff Wheeler. I already talked a little bit about this, how I wanted to read the rest of the series. I'm so excited. So basically, I can't tell you too much because this is the second book in the series, but the first book comprises of a boy who basically gets taken as a hostage because his parents were traitors to the king, and so he's living in the king's castle, and he's probably gonna die because his parents are traitors. And this girl named Ancarette, who's the queen's poisoner, basically the person who, she's like the queen's spy. So basically Ancarette basically tries to save his life and helps him learn. So he's like 8 years old in the first book, and then in this book there's a time jump. I'm pretty sure this is the second one. Yeah, this is the second book. Glad I got the right one. This also matches me. I love this dice. It knows everything. Anyway, it follows the queen's poisoner trying to keep him alive in this court, and then they develop a friendship. And then there's also a girl named Elizabeth Victoria Mortimer, something like that, where there's a friendship between those two little kids. And there's that's what I was saying. So basically, he's 8 years old in the first book, and then there's a time jump. So he's like 14, 15 in this book, and then I think he slowly grows up through the rest of it. So the first book kind of feels like a prequel, but this book I think is where the series is like actually gonna start and like all the action picks up in. So I'm really excited to read this one, and it apparently matches me, so that's fun. Now we have Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. I have read this series I think 2 or 3 times now, and I just got the hankering to reread it the other day. Don't know why, but we're gonna do a reread, and I'm very excited. This series basically follows what if superpowers are real, but none of them are good. They're all evil. And it follows a gang of people who are basically trying to take down the evil overlord who rules their city. And their city's name is the guy's name Steelheart? Yes, the evil overlord's guy's name is Steelheart. And the main character's guy is David, and there's a romance, and it's really cute, and I love this series. If you like Cytonic, you'd probably really like this series. I really want this to be the new series that gets talked about on Book Talk, because Cytonic is making its rounds, Skyward series is making its rounds, but if you read that one, please pick this one up. If you're too scared to read his bigger series, this is really, 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 really cute. All right, and then the last one I need to go find a book by is Georgette Heyer, but I will go find one, and then I will either put it in here if I've chosen it already, or I will say that I don't know what it is. But I am excited to read one of her books. It'll probably be read as a Kindle because I don't know if there's any of her books at my local library, but I do know that there's a lot of them on Kindle. So not Kindle, Libby, where I can request one. I'm excited to read another one by her. She has like these really interesting Regency romances because they're not like where the main character is great. They all have flawed heroines. From the 2 that I've read, they both had flawed heroines, and also the romance wasn't like the huge part of the plot. There was a little like intrigue and like so many plots and different people, and you had to remember all these names, so like they're harder to understand. So we'll definitely have to be in the right mood to read it, but I am excited to read another one because I've been thinking about it for a while. But anyway, those are all the books that I'm excited to get to read this month. Here's my very beautiful and very aesthetically chosen TBR. How good. That is amazing. Anyway, I will read these books and I'll get back to you at the end of the month. If I don't read them all, that's okay. But I do have a track record of reading them all, so we'll see. I'm kind of worried, honestly, that I won't get to reading all of them and then my wonderful track record will be over. And then I'll just feel terrible about not getting to read all of the books that my wonderful TBR die picked out for me. Oh well. We'll see. Anyway, I'll see you guys next month or whenever my next video is. I have no idea. I have so many videos, guys. I have so many videos to edit. It's not even funny. Anyway, goodbye.